It started with a young girl named Lily who saw a tired delivery man struggling in the summer heat. She didn't have much, just a bottle of cold water and a small packet of cookies. She walked up shyly and handed them to him. His eyes welled up as he whispered thank you. That small moment gave him the strength to finish his shift. He said it was the first act of kindness he'd felt in months. Then there was a boy named Arjun who saw a barefoot kid watching others play football. Arjun took off his own shoes, handed them to the boy, and walked away barefoot with a smile. That boy still treasures those shoes, but more than that, he remembers the feeling of being seen. A young woman named Aisha was boarding a crowded subway train when she noticed an elderly man trying to carry heavy groceries. Without thinking, she picked up his bags and offered him her seat. He later told her she reminded him of his late daughter. It wasn't just help he received that day. It was the comfort of being remembered. In a small diner, a woman noticed a soldier eating alone. She quietly paid his bill and left a napkin note that said, "Thank you for your service. You are not alone." The soldier, who was battling PTSD, broke down in tears. That note gave him the courage to seek help. A teenage boy lost his wallet on the way home. A homeless man found it, checked the ID, and walked several blocks just to return it. When asked why, he said, "Because I know how it feels to have nothing, and I wouldn't want him to go through that." The boy's family helped the man find shelter and a job. A little girl drew pictures and gave them to strangers on the street. One landed in the hands of a woman who had been contemplating ending her life that very day. The picture said, "You are special." That tiny drawing saved a life. During a snowstorm, a man saw a shivering stray dog. He took off his jacket, wrapped the dog in it, and sat beside it until help arrived. The dog was later adopted, and the man still visits her at the shelter every week. In a grocery store, an elderly woman realized she didn't have enough money for her groceries. A teenage cashier quietly covered the bill. The woman cried and said, "You remind me that the world still has good people." A teacher once noticed a student always staying behind to clean the classroom. She asked why. The boy said he didn't want the janitor, his father, to work too hard. The teacher was so moved, she organized a surprise appreciation day for both father and son. They said it was the first time anyone had ever thanked them. One morning, a cyclist noticed a woman with a flat tire on the side of the road. He helped her change it and refused money. He said he once had a flat at night and no one stopped. That memory made him promise never to ignore someone in need. A barista noticed a regular customer looked upset. She gave him a free coffee with a note, "You matter more than your worst day." That simple act started a conversation. The man was later diagnosed with depression and got the support he needed. A man in line at a bakery paid for the cake of the mother behind him. It was her daughter's birthday, but she didn't have enough. That cake became the centerpiece of a birthday the child would never forget. On a rainy day, a child shared his umbrella with a street vendor who was soaking wet. The vendor later said it had been a hard day and that tiny act gave him hope that better ones would come. An office worker saw a colleague eating alone day after day. One day, he sat beside him and invited him to lunch. It was the first time in months the lonely colleague laughed. They became best friends and later launched a kindness club at their company. And finally, a nurse working a 16-hour shift came outside to find her windshield covered in sticky notes. They were all thank you messages from neighbors who saw her leave early every day and return late at night. She stood in the parking lot crying, overwhelmed by love. Each of these acts may seem small, but their impact was massive. Kindness doesn't need wealth or power, it just needs a willing heart. These are real moments that show us how human connection can transform pain into peace, and loneliness into belonging. So take a deep breath and look around. Someone